2 in the morning right now. I'm kind of just sitting in this parking garage reflecting, man. Like, I'm 21 years old and my business is about to cross $2 million in revenue. Like, I don't come for money. I'm not going to sit here and act like I grew up poor and I was broke. But, like, when it comes to growing my business, it was strictly me and my back against the wall and getting it out the mud, trying to get this thing up off the ground and start making something of myself. And I live that kind of like quote unquote entrepreneur lifestyle. Like, I have the time, location freedom. I travel a lot. I go wherever I want. Like, I've done the whole dream car situation. I actually just totaled one of my cars, which was very unfortunate. But I only say all that to say, like, even with that being my current circumstances, that being the life that I live right now, I just don't feel satisfied. Over the last 6 to 8 months, I feel like as if I've been kind of complacent. Like, everything just feels like it's been the same. And I'm actually really glad I'm going through this because every new level of growth requires the death of your old self. The person I was in order to achieve my first 6 figures couldn't be the person to achieve 7 figures. He had to die. And the person that got me here to where I am today won't get me to where I want to be and hit all these crazy goals. He has to die. Life is about evolution, and all the successful, wealthy people are constantly evolving. They're constantly changing. Typically, when somebody finds their identity, they try to protect it and harness it and hold on to it. And that makes you stay comfortable. And when you're comfortable, you're quite literally dying because everyone around you is leveling up and going to these higher, different places where you're just sitting in the same spot, rotting. But successful people are constantly tearing themselves apart, destroying themselves, and rebuilding over and over and over again. Because when you start to form new beliefs, you get in a new environment, develop new skills, you're bound to become more successful and have more opportunities presented to yourself. If your life hasn't changed in the last 6 months, I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, have I changed as a person? And if the answer is no, you need to spend that extra time with yourself and figure out the areas you need to rebuild. That's exactly what I'm doing now, sitting up here on top of this parking garage at 2 a.m., bro. Like, I need to hit that next chapter. I need to hit the goals that I have set for myself. I need to reach that new level that I see myself living. And there's only one way to do that. This current state of me right now is... It's gotta go, bro. I gotta dead it. When I look back in my life, every single breakthrough that I had came after me killing an old version of myself. The only reason why I'm at to where I'm at today is because somewhere along the line in the early stages of my journey, I became a new person. That previous version of myself died. Like, before I got into any of this, before I turned my life around, like, I was going down a really bad path, especially through high school. I mean, like, I was hanging around all the wrong people. I was trying to be somebody I wasn't. I was too afraid to talk to girls. I was watching porn. I was addicted to weed. Like, I was 110 pounds, bro. I didn't care about my health. And, like, for context, I'm 6'4". So, like, I was damn near anorexic. I was just going down such a bad path, bro. Like, and I knew deep down if I didn't change, if I didn't flip a switch, I was going to be like somebody who didn't make anything of themselves. That just kind of like disappeared. Like, it was somebody who was a loser. And the crazy part about it all is, like, I knew I was meant for more deep down. I would have visions of me being successful, and I would have like just these moments where I would see myself living this life that I wanted to live. And it wasn't until a couple months after I got my first ever job after graduating high school at Raising Cane's where I actually made that switch. That's when I was really trying to grow my business, get it off the ground, because I had a 35-minute drive, a 35-minute commute to work, and it would strictly just be me and my thoughts. I wouldn't play music. I would just be driving, just thinking about how am I going to change my situation? And I knew I had to make something happen because, like I said, the path I was going down, it was brutal. And what actually did it for me was taking all of my paychecks and putting it right into my business. Like, my only expense was my car insurance and my phone and gas. I would buy myself groceries here and there. But honestly, that was it. And it was so uncomfortable for me to, drop just straight cash on inventory, run ads, supplies, and just heavily invest back into my business because all I knew was just like, yo, like, you're supposed to save your money, you're supposed to stack, you're supposed to grind. Like, I really knew I wanted to move out at the time and get my own apartment. So I was just like, I have to figure something out. And to me, the only thing that felt right was actually investing back into my business. And I mean, that's exactly what allowed me to kill my old self. I was so uncomfortable doing it, but doing it allowed me to become a new person where it started to feel regular. Like, that was my first ever intro to taking a risk, was buying inventory up front and investing into my brand. And over time, as you become more and more and more successful, that old version of you dies and is reborn again. Like, I'm talking, like, there's so many circumstances I look back at and I'm like, yo, like, in that scenario, I had to become a completely new person in order to pull that off. Like, For example, when I moved into my warehouse and when I signed that lease, when I locked in the lease and I saw $2,000 a month, I felt so uncomfortable. Like I'm telling y'all, like I was scared because I didn't even move in right away. Like I had to lock in that lease if I wanted to secure that spot. When I moved in there, I didn't even fill up a quarter of the space. And what do you know? If I didn't make that decision, I wouldn't be sitting here in this exact position that I'm in with the current state of my business if I didn't sign that lease. Nobody really talks about this, man. Nobody talks about how hard it is to actually become the person you need to be in order to start achieving success. Like that's genuinely the only way I'm going to reach the next level. And the same goes for you watching this right now. Like you gotta let that current version of you go, because success isn't about just becoming more. It's about letting go of everything that's stopping you from becoming the person you're capable of being. I mean, I've documented my whole entire journey from start to where I'm at now, and like just even the way I communicate, the way I come across on camera is extraordinarily different from when I first started. You can see how shy, how timid, how scared, how less confident I was compared to now. And guys, I promise you, as soon as you let that current version of you die and you start to shed that skin and evolve, the goals you want to achieve will start just happening right in front of you, and they'll come easier than ever. Let that old version of you go.